Good evening, good evening. You're listening to the Sports Cycle on 105.1 Live with Tim McKain. I am your host, and today we have a very special guest. We have professional fighter, my friend, Theo Rlayang. Brother, how you doing today, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother? Thank you for having me on.
Man,
it's an honor.
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. So first off, I see your shirt. It's Jackson Wink MMA. Tell us about Jackson Wink MMA and your experience with them.
Yeah, this is Jackson Wink MMA. They're located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is the biggest fight camp in the world. There's like all the top fighters come here to train, and yeah. So this is where I went for my fight camp, and I just literally got back this past weekend. Just ended my fight camp over there.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So you got a fight coming up September 12th. Who are you fighting, and what are your expectations for the fight?
Yeah, I'm fighting Rlayang. This guy is a Muay Thai guy. He's a good striker. He's tough. He's well-rounded, but I feel like my striking and grappling is better than his. Not to underestimate him or anything, but it's just I feel like I'm pretty confident with my skills and ability. Yeah, so this fighting this Saturday.
That's what's up, man.
I'm ready.
That's what's up. So the last time I interviewed you, it was a while back. I think it was like early 2019. You were amateur professional at the time. You were amateur, not professional, but you were amateur at the time. And you actually were in nails, correct?
Yeah.
So just talk about that experience from an amateur, that progression really, from being an amateur to now a professional fighter.
Yeah, so I was doing nails while I was working with you and fighting amateur MMA, which is like a weird combination as a fighters at night and then do nails in the morning and stuff. So once I got pro, I made my mind that I would be focused on fighting full time, and then I want to pursue my other passion, which is entrepreneurship, and then try to learn different business and stuff, and study the fight game too, fight business.
I got you. So tell me, like, what led you to becoming an entrepreneur? What led you to be interested in that?
Yeah, I've always had like this ambition and hunger to do more with my life, and try to achieve more as a kid. And I grew up a big fan of Manny Pacquiao growing up, and I saw him that he had a couple of businesses too. He used his fighting as his platform, and then he opened multiple businesses, and then he later on gave back to his people.
He does.
And I feel like being an entrepreneur, you're a problem solver.
Yeah. And
so I want to help fight against poverty and give back to the people, the poor. And and then that's why. But the fight game is just is also a fight is a business too. Like you as a fighter, you're a business. You gotta look at yourself as a business.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you wanna be like Manny Pacquiao? You gonna be the starter player on your basketball team? You gonna own a Vietnam basketball team or a league or anything like that in the future?
Hey, I'm a big fan of basketball too. But maybe not play professional basketball though. But I used to be. I used to play soccer and stuff too. But I want to open multiple businesses, be serial entrepreneur later on. And
so I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother, but I want to get into this. So you talked about giving back to your people because you're from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Explain. Because you're very active on social media. I see that. So you're very open to telling your story about the obstacles that you had to face. So just explain to the people listening, what were some of those obstacles that you faced when you were young, and what kind of inspirational message would you want to give to somebody who looks like you that wants to be successful? When they see somebody, I want to be like Theo Rlayang.
Yeah. I was a kid, I'm a kid that grew up with nothing, I grew up in poverty. I live in the central Holland areas in the mountain, a small little village over there. And we had to walk hours just to get water and just to go to school. and so I dealt with a lot of bullying too from the other kids at school because I was different, and also like a lot of trauma. Like I had near death experience too as a kid, where like I got I almost drowned in the lake, in the river as a kid, and then my people is the Montagnard people is the ethnic minority in Vietnam and Cambodia and Thailand. Around that area we have at least 30 different tribes, and at least there was like 5 million before way back then. Now it's like probably like 300,000 left of our people, and so we helped we helped the Americans in the Vietnam War, and then for that we got basically we got like backlash,
Right.
from the government and the communism, and so that's why we fled here as refugees. Went through the jungles like on foot for like a week on foot, and then so that's why we had to escape from war.
I got you. So, the last interview we had, you talked about how you wanted to be the Manny Pacquiao for your people. Has there been a UFC Asian champion, and what would that experience be like for your people? What do you think?
So the only Asian champion was a female, but she's from China.
Okay.
Her name Rlayang. But there's never been a male Asian champion, so my goal is to be the first, and then so
I
help
got you.
open up more doors for the other fighters.
I got you. So who are some of your mentors in the game now? Like, I feel like when you love a sport, when you love something, you study it. So like, who are some of the people that influenced you in the sport, whether it be from a mixed martial artist or just business in general?
Yeah, so my mentor as for now is Derek Brunson. He's we went to the same college together, and he went to the same college at UNC Pembroke, and I saw his big poster of him, and then I was like, well, that's like people were telling he was in the UFC, so they had a lot, and so when I was wrestling at the time in college, my first year, so I was like, yo, one day that's gonna be me. That's what I was like visualizing that, and then later on, like after I dropped out of college, I met him again in Wilmington, where I was training in Wilmington. I trained with Port City Sports Performance, and then I trained at this boxing gym, where he also happens to be training, and then the coach was training him, and then so like that's how I got to talk with him a little bit, and I always see him at a couple of fights. So and then he he talked to me, and then we got got cool, and then we got so we keep in touch, and he's giving me a lot of advice and like guidance in the fight business, in fight game.
Yeah.
And also like I look up to like Mayweather, even though it's boxing. Yeah. So and even Conor McGregor, even though he's got a lot of haters, but I respect what he did in the fight game, like the business aspect, and promoting himself. So I kind of try to copy that, and so I wanna. He says we're not here for a long time. We're here in good time. So it's like trying, like for me, it's not. I'm fighting for like legacy too. I want to be great, but also I'm fighting to make money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like this sport is a ruthless game. So you can get a lot hurt, injuries. And so I'm fighting against poverty, Wow. So I'm like, that's my motivation, fighting, give back to my family, all the people that came along up with, what I'm saying?
So how long do you think you'll be in the game? You know what I mean? Because like you said, there's so many injuries that you can face as a UFC fighter. Like you can't do this forever.
Yeah.
So like, how long do you intend to stay in mixed martial arts?
5 to 7 years.
Wow.
It's not because like most MMA career, there's people try to fight so long till like their 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
For me, I want to like get in, get out, you know, get paid, get out, you know, and then I want to do other ventures. And then there's like, for me, I have other aspirations and dreams and goals. And then the fight game is that's being my platform. I want to, you know, get into movies or acting too, and do like stunt double or whatever.
Exactly.
And then other than entrepreneurship too, like maybe hire a couple people who open couple businesses here and there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why people enjoy mixed martial arts, because mixed martial arts, you can fight with anything. It's not just with fists. It's with elbows, kicks, knees. It's not no headbutts though. It used to be headbutts, I think. They used to do some really crazy
they used
stuff
to do like
in the 90s.
soccer kicks and stuff, like all kinds of you know, but different. It's called left way. You can headbutt.
Man, I ain't not.
That's in Malaysia. There's mixed martial arts, but in Malaysia they do headbutts and stuff.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So, so Theo, man, I just want to know from your perspective as a UFC fighter, are you a boxing fan too? And like, why is, from your perspective, mixed martial arts better than boxing?
I'm a big fan of boxing also, but I wouldn't say like MMA is better than boxing. They have like, boxing has a more longer history and they've been around longer, but MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world right now. It's probably like 2 or 3, like other than like soccer. It's worldwide, you know what I'm saying? Because almost every country, like people get fighting and they want like watching fights, you know? So I feel like MMA is growing so big because like UFC and all them stuff are like putting it on the map, you know?
I agree, man. UFC definitely. It's not just UFC. It's Bellator. It's the PFL. So I'm gonna give a shout out to those organizations too, just to name a few, because there's like several of them. But the one thing that I noticed from boxing and UFC is the money, and the reason why I say that is because even though there are discrepancies and you see boxers not getting paid, you can see guys like Floyd Mayweather he almost is a billionaire. If he wasn't spending $200 million at the strip club, he'd probably be a billionaire right now. You know what I mean? And no disrespect, because Floyd Mayweather is my favorite boxer that I've seen of all time. Okay, but like from your perspective, do you feel like somebody could use that argument and say, well, even though you can do different things with mixed martial artists, the money is in boxing? Would you disagree or agree with that?
Yeah, it's boxing, like the elite fighters or the top fighters, they make way more than the MMA fighters. Like Conor McGregor started, like he changed the game in a way for MMA where like the fighters started getting paid more, but he's a good businessman too.
Right.
He know how to promote and sell his fights, and he had other stuff going for him, you know. So he had a lot of hype going there, and then he didn't really need the UFC to, like, you know, he can do his own thing, you know, if he wanted to. And just like Mayweather, he started his own promotion and stuff, and like he got tired of like even the corruption or not getting paid what he deserved or what he, you know, he know his value. So you know.
See, with Floyd, he was originally signed with Top Rank, right? But the fact of the matter is that the Golden Boy was the cash cow for Top Rank. The Golden Boy, now Golden Boy Promotions. So I just think for Mayweather, he definitely used, and to be honest with you, Conor McGregor used some of the Floyd Mayweather business tactics to get his own. You know what I mean? But for me personally, I don't know which side I'm on. You know what I mean? Because growing up, I'm just a huge boxing fan. Boxing is coming back. Deontay Wilder was killing the game. Tyson Fury killing the game. I just think boxing has some issues right now that they need to fix, which is, hey, look, they need to make sure that it's legitimate. You need to cut the people who are wrong for the sport. Get rid of the corruption. That's one. Two, I just think also there needs to be another weight class. There needs to be a super heavyweight.
Super heavyweight.
Super heavyweight. Because these are monsters, man. These are back in the day, heavyweights were like 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", 5'11". You see a 5'11", heavy hitter going against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury should be a super heavyweight. I mean,
So
he's huge.
super heavyweight, where was that start from? Like 250?
Yeah, like 250. Like,
Yeah.
and then like 6'8", 6'9". Because those guys, I mean, they're honestly, man. Like, and no disrespect, I just think that, you know, when you're that big and you're that strong, it's like there's a lot of power that you'll get compared to. I don't know. Okay, from a mixed martial arts perspective, okay, do you feel like how much does weight and height deal with the fight game?
It depends on the fighter, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
I think, but yeah, weight and weight is a big difference. Just like cutting, like certain amount of weight, you can be drained or like not as perform. And
Yeah.
just because like a lot of the fighters who miss weight on like in the
Yeah.
UFC or
Yeah.
MMA in general, usually they do better than the other guys
Who stays on weight?
yeah, who's they makes weight the weight because
Really?
they had to cut all that so much weight because as a fighter we have to like most fighters they cut at least like 20 like 30 like 25 pounds.
Wow.
I cut about like 30 pounds just to make weight. I usually walk around like 165 170. I have to
Yeah.
cut to 145.
Wow.
Yeah, so and it's really not healthy for you.
Yeah.
Because later on, because you affect your like organs, your kidneys and
Yeah.
stuff, and like some fighters like Khabib and a couple other fighters has to go hospitalized for that because they cut so much weight at a like short amount of time.
What? I didn't know Khabib went to the hospital for that.
Yeah,
Wow.
he got one of his fights got canceled because he got hospitalized for cutting so much weight.
Wow. You know, I'd say this. I think boxers, and to me, this is what makes Floyd Mayweather so great. And I'm going to always say Floyd Mayweather. Because Floyd Mayweather, he always stayed the same weight. So I mean, you walk around 165, 170, is that right? Would you stay at 145? And if you stayed at 145, what would some of the things that what would you have to eat? What would you have to avoid eating if you were going to stay at that weight? Because Floyd stayed at that weight his whole career.
Yeah, I mean, I would stay at 145, but it's very hard for me because literally I have to cut so much water weight and I'm basically like bony, like it's all bones when I cut to 45. You see some fighters, they be like when they're in the weigh-ins, they're like all like skeleton, like because they cut so much weight. And it's just for me, I've cut weight so much throughout the year. I started cutting weight since middle school for wrestling, and then high school, and then college, and now MMA. So I kind of have like an eating disorder, so I'm always hungry. That's why you see a lot of like fighters or athletes who cut a lot of weight, they have eating disorder. And like most people who finish wrestling or they stop wrestling, they end up like fat or like bloated if they don't do anything because they eat so much. They're always hungry. I have a couple of my high school friends who stopped wrestling. They're like totally different person now. Like this dude, one of my friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but he used to be so cut and shredded. He was like, and like he was kind of short, stocky guy, but he's really cut back then. He was like a bodybuilder in high school. Yeah. And so after he finished wrestling, I saw him like a couple years after college, and he looked like a balloon. Like I was like like Oompa Loompa. You can literally roll him off a bowling pin. Like that's like because most coaches too, even the wrestling coaches. They are bigger because you eat a lot. So you're like, if you have nothing to really challenge me or like keep you active and busy, like competing, you're just gonna enjoy the food because you love food so much because you all that weight cut,
Wow. Curious about this. What does that have to do? So like you lose about 20 to 30 pounds.
Yeah, 20 to 30
How does that affect your power? Like, does that affect your power anyway? Because you're losing muscle. Am I correct?
Yes. So I lose a little bit of muscle too, and mainly I feel very light. But we have a day before. Amateurs. Some amateurs you have to wait the day of the fight, but like to weigh in. But we get like the day before the fight, and then we get to replenish, recover. That's why you got to be smart too with your diet, nutrition after you weigh in. So. I try to go like healthy carbs. I go my first thing my go to is like Italian. I like that's some healthy carbs, and then that night before, and then replenish with like electrolytes and water and stuff, fruit juices and stuff, and then during fight day I feel good. You know,
Okay.
I'm back to some fighters. They cut so much weight they don't.
Yeah.
They drains them. It kills them. Like they don't have the same energy or power. But for me, it's like most of my fights been finished. Like, and then I feel like I have that power. It's like almost like fighting is a lot of you're confident. In,
Yeah,
you know,
I agree
if
with
you're
that.
confident in there and you perform better. You know.
That's good. That's good. Exactly. Well, hey, Theo, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Do you mind? I give a little shout out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to shout out
Absolutely.
to some of my sponsors here. CBD, Hybrid CBD, Mel's Tree Service, Jungle Athletics, T2 Company, and and if you guys would like to follow my journey, and you can follow me on Instagram at Theo Jungle King, and then you can follow me on Facebook or YouTube. I have my YouTube video too up there, Theo Rlayang. Yeah, appreciate you guys. And also, if you guys would like, I'm fighting this Saturday, the September 12th in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be my prediction is gonna be a first round finish, and yeah, so I'm excited. I'm ready for that.
What's the link? Like, what's the website that they can fight? If they can see online, what is it? What is it called?
So the promotion is called Warfare MMA, and he usually does like live streaming too.
Okay.
But this fight he's not doing no
Oh,
streaming
wow.
because he wants all people like attendance. This will have crowd and
Interesting.
audiences in this venue, so he
Okay.
wants to bring a lot of people out there. Even
Gotcha.
though with the whole COVID situation,
Right. You have to be
like
responsible.
coronavirus,
Yeah.
but there's gonna have like strict regulation and like safety and stuff.
That's good. Best of luck to you, brother.
I
First round
appreciate
KO, bro.
Yes, sir.
First round. You're listening to 105.1 Live. This is the Sports Cycle with Tim McKain.